I've just got a new job. It's great. I'm really enjoying it. The only downside is that I only get 1 day off a week, but it's fine. It just means that Wednesday is my weekend. Every Wednesday, I wake up at 10:15 a.m. At 10:25, I have a shower. At 10:40, I go downstairs for breakfast. Then, at 11 a.m., I start pre-drinking. 4 cans of Red Stripe in the kitchen. I then make my way to the living room to play Ring of Fire in front of loose women. Depending on the cards, I'm usually drunk by 12:15, so I go for a wee and then leave the house. Now, there are no clubs open on a Wednesday lunchtime, so I go to the cafe down the road. Fortunately, it's one of those trendy cafes with wooden tables which serves alcohol. I order 4 double vodka and Red Bulls, and I drink them in the corner. Now, this may sound antisocial, but what you've got to remember is that all my friends have work on a Wednesday. Besides, I've got a bit of banter with the waiter, and I'm just sort of gearing towards broaching the subject of whether or not he'd call me a mate. But for the time being, I'm quite content to sit in the corner with my vodka and Red Bulls and listen to trance music on my headphones. By 2 p.m, I'm usually battered. Sometimes I'll be up on my feet, having a little dance in the corner, or sometimes I just sit there crying. It just depends what kind of drunk I am. If it's the latter kind of drunk, I'll often call up my ex-girlfriend as I stumble home, and sometimes, depending on when she's taken a lunch break, she answers and says things like, "What the hell's happening to you? It's 2 p.m. on a Wednesday afternoon and you're drunk. You really have got a lot of issues, Daniel." And I'll say, "It's the freaking weekends, baby. I'm having me some fun." At 3 p.m, I collapse into bed, fully clothed. At 6 p.m, I wake up with a hangover. My head is pounding, but then I remember my morning antics. It was worth it. At 6:15 p.m, I drag myself downstairs and prepare a Sunday roast. And when it's ready, I pop it in the oven, set the timer for 2 hours, and then head to church. It's always quite empty, which I find disappointing, and I've asked Father Brendan to establish a second Sunday service for those of us with Wednesday weekends, but he says there's not enough demand, which I find hard to believe. But for the time being, I suppose I'm quite content to sit in the corner and recite the Lord's Prayer to the tune of my favourite song, Goldfinger. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. And so on. I return home at 7:30, just in time for my Sunday roast, which I eat at the kitchen table with a copy of last week's Sunday Times. Bliss. I retire to the living room at 8:10 to watch an episode of Heartbeat, but not before clearing away the remnants of last night's alcohol, by which I mean this morning's. The sight of the alcohol makes me feel queasy, and I think I'll never drink again, by which I mean the same time next week. They don't show Heartbeat on a Wednesday evening, so I had to buy the DVD box set. I tried to find it on Blu-ray, but alas, no such luck. According to ITV, there's not enough demand, which I find hard to believe. Once the episode's finished and I've worked out who'd done it, I head to bed with a cup of Horlicks, and then work the next day. And when I get there, they say, "How was your day off?" And I say, "Hey, you know me? You know, I work hard, but I play hard. You know, all work and no play makes Daniel a dull boy. Same time next week." Thanks.